Hello, people out there. It feels like it's been an eternity since we've talked to you wonderful souls. Clearly I've missed it. I've missed being able to hear my own self speak, obviously. But anyway, what's up? It's Press Play again. And we are here to talk about the famous, not infamous as Omar hates when I say, Godzilla versus Kong, which up until 20 minutes ago, I thought it was called Kong versus Godzilla this whole time. Clearly, I'm on Kong's side. But hey, what's up? I'm Bailey, your host, and joining me, as per usual, is Omar Zaki and Matthew Austin.
What's up, people?
There's the guys. There they are. Oh, God. So I'm clearly excited to talk about this movie, maybe for a good reason, maybe for a bad reason. Who the fuck knows? But here we are. We're going to be having a grand old time. But before we get to that, I'm going to tell you where you can see us socially. And by socially, I mean social media. So that's on Instagram at PressPlayAgain and on Twitter at AgainPress. We post really cool things, really fun things. You should follow us. You should talk to us because we'll always talk back, like always. And then, listen to us on Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and Apple Podcasts. Rate us 5 stars. I don't give you an option for anything else. They don't give you an option for anything else. It's 5 stars or nothing. Or you can get the hell out of here, And then also, leave comments on these YouTube videos that we do because we would love to hear your opinions or anything we miss. Because let me tell you, we miss a shit ton when we talk about these. But hey, we're just here to entertain ourselves. Really, that's all we do. Yeah. So subscribe to us, do all that jazz. The whole thing that I always go over. But that's out of the way now, so we don't need to worry about that. Now we're here to talk about the kings. You know what I mean? Do y'all know what I mean?
The kings and the Kongs.
Oh, no. They're both kings, though.
Apex.
That's true.
There's only one king.
And his name is Kong.
Thank you. I was really worried about which person you were going to say, actually. So, yeah, we're here to talk about the ending of this trilogy. I'm going to assume it's the ending of this trilogy.
They said there was no after credit scene because they literally don't
trilogy. Know. It's not even a trilogy. I forget that there's
4.
Godzilla King of Monsters.
Oh my god. Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, people forget about that movie, which is understandable. So,
I was going to say, just wipe that one off the map. You don't need it.
So I'm going to... Honestly, should we just go in with first impressions of this movie or what we expected out of this movie?
I think in a way we could do both. I think.
Go for it. I'm throwing it down to you. You're down there for me. I don't know where you are on the screen, actually.
My expectations for this movie were right here, and what this movie did ended up being right here.
Nice. Okay? Solid.
Yes. Here's the thing. I expected Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus Kong, whatever, and that's exactly what we got. We got multiple fights. I had a hunch that at the end they were gonna fucking team up and just do what they did, because I was talking to the IT guy at work and he was like, dude, you think it's gonna be a clear winner? I was reading an article because they said there was gonna be a clear winner, obviously. And I was thinking they're not gonna kill one of them, right? They're not gonna fucking make us watch Kong get his ass beat and then actually kill him. It's what makes sense at the end, they're gonna team up and take down Mecha. So that was pretty so that was pretty fucking fun. A lot of people are talking shit. A lot of people online are just saying, oh, the humans of this movie sucked. The movie was called Kong versus Godzilla, not Kong versus Godzilla versus humans. Okay, move past you shit.
Or Godzilla versus Kong.
Whatever the fuck it's called, who cares, right? We got a fight. I thought it was incredible. Wish I would have seen this in theater, because I thought it would just be even more epic than what it was.
The colors definitely would have been.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's something I missed.
Yeah. At the end of the not the last fight, but the second to last fight where they're in
Hollow Earth.
No. What was it? Hong Kong? They were in Hong Kong. Right?
Oh yeah, that was the
dude.
end
The lights. Oh my god, that fight was so fucking pretty. So I thought it was grand, epic, and exactly what I expected. Nothing great, but it was really fun. So yeah.
Sweet.
I was
Okay.
Happy. Yep.
How did you feel, little Matthew?
Yeah. So just to say, I don't have any attachment to like these movies, like these Godzilla, King Kong movies. Like that wasn't something I was super into as a kid. Didn't hate it, just never really watched them as a kid, right? So I've enjoyed all of these for the most part. I thought the King of the Monsters, that was the last one, right? That one was the biggest letdown because that trailer looked insane. That one actually made you think that the human characters were going to be or have some form of a compelling story, right? And that movie, in my opinion, didn't. And this one's kind of more of the same with the human characters, maybe even worse. So like the first 30 minutes of this, right? I'm watching, I was like, oh my God, this is like, I don't know. I didn't really expect it to be any better with them, but I was like, there's just so much of these people. And it's like, I don't care about any of them. And the movie's not making me care about any of them. To the point where, what's the blonde-haired dude, like the Skarsgård brother? You know how
Alexander.
You know how they show him at the beginning and he has long hair?
Yep.
And they're talking to him and recruiting him or whatnot, and then they just kind of like move on. And then you see him again, and I guess he has short hair, but in my mind, I didn't even realize that was the same person. And like
going into you just mentioned it, by the way,
all the way up until the end of the
like,
or not the end, but about halfway through, I'm still waiting for this fucker to show back up. I'm like, that guy is gonna play a pivotal role. And then it finally hit me where I was like, wait, this is the same fucking dude. But yeah, the movie's just terrible with the human characters. Anyway, so basically, until that first fight started, I was like, oh man, like I really just want this to finally happen because everything, like I do not care about any of this. But from that fight on, honestly, I thought this movie was fucking awesome. Again, what are we judging it on? Like a film? Like I guess not. It's not like it's a great film, but I feel like the setup of Godzilla versus Kong, I feel like the fight scenes were fucking awesome. Both of the fights were badass. I like that we get a clear winner, even though neither of them dies. It's like we actually, got to see who would win, and the fights were awesome. All the stuff with Mecha at the end was crazy. Like I thought it was a fucking awesome ride, especially the second half. But yeah, the beginning of it, I was like, oh god, this shit is not that great. But overall, I ended up really liking it.
Okay. Y'all are both wrong. So that's where I stand with it. No, I'm just kidding, but not really, because this movie gave me a roller coaster of emotions. If I do say, it was one of those things where it starts off, has a really cool song. You get to see Kong being just good old Kong. He's like, I'm having a day off. And then it has like all of that. I think it was really kind of cool the way they showed it. Then we got to a lot of the dialogue between humans, and I'm like, this is all really, really dumb. So I'm finding it hard, especially like for me too, not really having any connection to Godzilla or Kong as much. I really liked the King Kong with Jack Black. I enjoyed that movie, and then I liked Kong a lot. So I was like, you know what? I think I like Kong.
I think I'm on his side.
And that's kind of where I stood with it, which clearly this movie was very pro Kong. So I'm like not mad at that. But yeah, I feel like I liked it in the beginning, then I didn't like it in the middle, and then I thought I liked it a little more, but then I was like, no, this is really bad. And then the end fight happened, and I was like, okay, no, this is cool. So that's kind of where I stand with it. Well, no, I'm not like mad I watched it or anything. Would I have spent money if I didn't have A-list? Would I have spent money to go see this, or would I have spent the money already and then gone and seen it and been happy about it? Maybe not, if it was $20, but it's just where I stand.
I'm very surprised.
Who am I to say anything? I'm not a movie critic.
Who are you, honestly?
I never claimed to be one. I never claimed to be one, but I am one. So
very surprised.
And anyway, that's where I stand, and I'm not budging from that statement. Okay?
That's fair.
Peace. Okay. All right. Let's dive into talking about the movie, though.
Yeah.
So the beginning, did y'all dig the whole, like, it popping up with the, what did they call the centers? Like Monarch land post?
I fucking have no idea. That's the thing. Everything that was not the two of them beating the shit out of each other, I feel like is just so forgettable. Forgettable. And so that's why I understand what you're saying, Bailey, in terms that like it depends what you would go into this movie expecting.
Well, the driving force for everything happening, I felt like was so unnecessary. Like Kong fighting Godzilla or Godzilla wanting to fight Kong could have happened. Not that I don't think Mechagodzilla is cool. I think Mechagodzilla is dope. He's a cool guy. Go get a drink with him sometime. I'm just saying, I don't think it was necessary to see them fight. They already had the whole rivalry thing. Like, did we need all these
Like who?
human,
Wait.
like 3 different human side stories
No.
to get
No,
to
we
this
absolutely
fight?
didn't need that. We absolutely
okay,
don't need it, but this is
real quick.
Mhm.
I was gonna say about Mechagodzilla. So in the original, because I was explaining this to Matthew, I guess the route they went with, I mean, it was kind of cool, whatever. But yeah, they just included way too many humans, and to have like a human be the villain against these 2 fucking apexes, right? It was kind of lame because like in the original, he is sent by aliens. He's from outer space. He's not even a fucking robot,
Yeah,
right?
I actually did know that.
Yeah. So I was explaining that to Matthew and how I think that, like, I was waiting for that to happen, and I thought that would have been cooler because
Would
it's
have been
like just
dope.
like right. But when you have like a fucking human sitting in a chair controlling this giant thing, and then it goes bad or whatever, and
It's like connected through his cerebral. Like he's just like,
yeah, like this isn't the fucking X-Men, right? This isn't the fucking Fox universe. Like I couldn't really care. I could care less or whatever. I couldn't care less about the plot, about the reasons behind it, about why those 2 even end up fighting, about why like Godzilla was like, it just, yeah, a lot of it, if you think about it, doesn't really make sense or was very unnecessary. But it just like when it actually happens, like the fights,
right. And that's the thing. So like, I will say the little girl, I think her name is Gia. Yeah,
She was
it's
cute.
Gia. Best part of the movie besides Kong. She was phenomenal. Her whole story, the way she acted, I fell in love with her. I was like, this is the cutest little girl ever. I totally believed her affection to Kong and like his affection to her and like that driving force. Totally understood that. Tell me why they get Kong on a ship and then the woman grabs her daughter and puts them in a locked like cabinet closet door while the boat is sinking. Like, what's the point of that scene?
Well, actually,
like she almost murders her child because she locks them in something that's about to drown and then they can't get out.
So it's supposed to make you feel some sort of emotion.
Does it?
I mean,
Because all I
supposed,
felt,
I guess.
me and my brother both looked at each other and we were just like, "Why go in the closet?"
No,
you
that's
like
that's my whole like thing though. They're trying to make you feel anxious and it just doesn't work. It's like the whole time you spend thinking like, why? This is stupid.
Just so many pointless things happen in the group's stories for the humans. And I think the problem I have with the movie is that it takes away from all the epic cool things that happen with everything else. Because
I don't think it takes away from it though, and I agree completely. I think this movie
it slightly does.
I think this movie would be so much better without the human characters, but I don't see how it could like. That's just not how Hollywood works, right? Like exactly, they have to do it, and so you could argue, well, there's no reason for the story with the human characters why it has to be shitty. Like it always could be better, and it definitely could. But I just think the majority, like this movie exists for the fights. Like that is why it exists. And so could it have been more? Absolutely. But it still, I think, nails home the point that 99% of people watching it, like the whole reason why they saw it anyway.
I feel like I'm in the minority. Like anyone I've talked to about this movie all say they loved it. And I totally get that. And I'm so happy that everybody got what they wanted out of it. And like, again, I think it's cool as hell. I just think there's so many parts that like, why have like 3 separate human stories to follow then?
Okay,
what's the point of that?
I want you to be honest with me, right? Did you walk in expecting anything, any similarities in this movie to be like anything like Kong? Because if you did, you set up yourself for failure. Because Kong had because I was gonna say Kong had really good action, but it also had just as good of a plot.
Yeah,
right? You cared about
the characters were more compelling,
right?
So like,
whereas here it's not.
Right. I wasn't fully expecting it to be like that. I mean, I kind of slightly was just because I was hoping like they could make the characters funny.
Because it's the same characters or the same main characters from King of the Monsters.
Godzilla.
Yeah, like I was like, that's the last one, right?
Yeah,
King
exactly.
of the Monsters.
The thing is, I wasn't expecting anything. Like I wasn't overhyping it and I wasn't expecting nothing. I just was like, show me a movie. That's all I was expecting.
Show it to me. Put it in front of my eyes.
They did it.
But that's the thing.
They didn't, but
they showed me something.
I fully expected the human storylines to suck, and they sucked. And so I wasn't let down by it. And so that's the thing. It definitely could have been better, but again,
I feel
like
so bad for Alexander Skarsgård. I feel like he just can't catch a break with these movies he's picking. It's like last thing I saw him in was Mute, and then we're gonna get
A movie I've never and will never see.
we get Mute, which is just I recommend all of you out there listening to this just watch it. That's all I'm gonna say. But then you get him in this, and again, I'm just like, ooh, you're really not hitting what you're supposed to be hitting with this.
but
I
is
don't
it
really
his fault?
understand.
Is it his fault? Because I don't think it is.
It's none of these actors' faults, really. It's just that's why I feel bad, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I'm
I also
probably
think
tearing
he's
this
probably
apart
making a
harder
shit
than
ton
I
of money.
should.
Yeah.
Oh, he's making a shit ton of money. I mean, dude,
And
this
that's the
movie
thing.
made fucking
Well, that's the thing.
crazy.
This movie did great. So like
Yeah.
everything everything I'm saying is irrelevant.
I also
Honestly.
think, I don't know, I would need to go back and watch Skull Island again, which I love Skull Island, and I think it definitely has the strongest like human storyline, but the storyline's still ridiculous. So I think it's just one of those things where these monster movies never really.
That's the thing. It's ridiculous and like a fun, ridiculous. This is what I expect from a monster movie way. Like this
But
is
do you
like
expect good storylines in a monster movie with the
I
humans?
expect fun storylines with the humans.
See, I don't
Do
know.
you not?
Well, that's the thing. I
So
don't have
I
this
don't-
attachment to this at all. So for me, it's only been these movies. And so Skull Island was the pinnacle of like, oh, I actually kind of give a shit about what's going on to the humans. But they also had a bunch of like actors like John Goodman and who else was in that movie? Wasn't there other like actors that
Samuel
we actually...
Jackson?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like there's just more fun actors
Samuel
in
Jackson's
it.
character was great.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. But in this one, like again, not to knock like Skarsgård or what's her face from Stranger Things, because I think all of these people are really good actors, but I just don't think they don't have that like star power that just you look at them and you're already like, okay, I'm in this. So I think the storyline's just as ridiculous, but I don't know. I think this one, especially being Godzilla versus Kong, it was all about the fight, and it was cool that we got two big fights with them, and I think that's just, it was all building towards that, and that's what mattered.
I am like super happy we got two fights with them. I also think like the beginning,
Was it two
the
or
first.
three? It was 3 fights. Well, I guess 2, and then the last one was against Mecha. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the last one just kind of felt like one giant fight for some
Yeah.
reason. But like the first fight, I was nervous as hell. Like they were
Dude.
the kids and then the wife getting or the woman getting locked up didn't make me nervous. I just thought that was dumb because I was like, they're not gonna kill this little girl off already. So like that's not happening. I got nervous because I was like, why the hell did they not unlock Kong? Like, why did they wait until the boat sank?
They're a bunch
and they're
of
like, you know
assholes.
what? Let's get the giant gorilla off. Like, why?
Well, I was nervous because it was in the water, and that's Godzilla's fucking playground, right? So I was scared shitless.
That worked. That fight was dope.
No, that
like
was awesome.
Oh my god, tell me why Kong fights like a professional fighter. Like his like hooks and his uppercuts, I'm just like, holy shit, this dude can hold his own. And like he's also 30 feet tall or 30 stories tall. So 30 feet.
30 feet.
But like
he was actually much
seeing
shorter.
him-
He was like a lot shorter in Kong. And
Yeah.
they were worried about when they were gonna
How they would
lead
match
up
up.
to this movie, that he wasn't gonna look up to, like he wasn't gonna look right next to Godzilla, and then they explained it, saying that Kong is constantly growing. So that was their way. of
Yeah, which
explaining it.
didn't they kind of say in Kong that like he's kind of almost a baby still, or not a baby, but he's
I
like
think something like that. Or he's
young,
just younger. Yeah.
so he had a lot of growing to do still. I think
Yeah,
they
yeah.
mentioned something like that in Kong, and so I guess
Maybe.
that's what makes you because when you're thinking about this movie, I'm not thinking that he's gonna be even close to Godzilla's size because Godzilla's a thick boy. I mean, he's up there.
He's fucking man. That tail. I'll tell you.
Yoked. So
But yeah,
he
I
holds his
also
own.
I also think the movie, because HBO's movies normally don't look that good. Like they have like a really bad like streaming codec that they use. And so it's interesting for these like new releases they've come out with, because they're like, or like the theatrical releases, because they're actually streaming stuff in 4K for once. And I thought this movie looked really fucking good, actually. Like the dark scenes were still super washed out, but anything that was like during the day, like the HDR on my TV was fucking like popping off. I was
Of
like,
course, this is something you're gonna notice.
I was
Something
like,
you have to talk about.
I was very impressed because again, HBO just notoriously has had really bad. I mean, think back to like fucking. I know Omar didn't watch Game of Thrones, but like that the second last battle in season 8 of Game of Thrones where everyone's like, I can't see anything and it just looks like pixel junk basically. Like HBO, like even for the shit they care about, has always been really bad with streaming. So props to them for getting it together with this 4K stuff, because I thought this movie looked stunning. Obviously, I wish I had seen it in Dolby too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it really, 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 like, this is the way this was probably meant to be seen. But again, it looked pretty good on my TV. Like, no complaints.
Good. I think that it looked great too, but I just, I wanted to talk about this movie, and it sucks that we're doing this before we're talking like in person about it. Like, this is y'all hearing my first opinion on it, because I'm gonna tear it apart, because I want to tell y'all how terrible all the character stories were. I enjoyed the movie. It was a fun movie. I can't get over the fact that they killed Mechagodzilla by pouring a flask full of alcohol all over
on the board or whatever.
I'm glad you
or whatever.
I am glad you brought that up, because I thought that was like atrocious that they did that.
Laziest writing.
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't think of anything else.
And so I'll not retract, but so, like I've been saying this whole episode, that I don't think it really mattered that the human storyline sucked that much. I think that's the most egregious part, where it's like, this fucking sucks, because the last 20 minutes have been badass, even though I don't give a shit what they're doing. And so you don't even have to get too creative with the fact that you're just going to like spend 5 minutes trying to hack into this thing, and then you're just like, fuck it, I'm going to just spill liquid all over it and just destroy it. It's like, I guess that works.
I do think it's cool how, like, at least the villain for this felt like an over-the-top villain, like a very anime-styled villain.
He definitely did.
And super high tech. Like, I loved how high tech everything was, and the fact that they had those like Elon Musk styled shuttles going to Hong Kong in like an hour. I don't know how long it took, but I thought that was all cool. I don't really understand how terrible these people's security are. Like,
they could just be hacked into by like this podcast dude and
15-year-olds and like this crazy guy are just like walking around.
I have a quick question for you guys, because their little fucking nauseating journey to Hollow Earth, where they, they're in the little shuttle or whatever, and they do this and they do that, kickflip, fucking ollie, whatever, and they get to where they need to go. Seemed like it took a while and a lot, right? So how is it that wherever they reach, that's directly under Hong Kong? That made no sense to me.
Because
did I miss something?
Oh, because if you drill a hole through Earth, it just all goes to the same place.
Okay, I knew you were gonna say something
circle.
like that. Yeah, because fucking Godzilla, he's in Hong Kong, looks down and just fucking starts spitting his little acid or whatever.
Which that was
and
fucking cool too.
How the hell could he just go all the way to Hollow Earth with that shit?
Yeah, I don't get that.
He's
how's
that
directly under?
I don't know. Again, this is where, to me, this stuff I never really thought too much about, because I was like, they're just trying to make it ridiculous at this point. Like, of course, Godzilla.
I thought the whole thing was cool, but then Kong climbs his way up the fucking hole. Like, how? I love
it.
What?
I love it.
That makes no sense, dude.
I was like, of course, Godzilla is just going to beam into the ground and it's going to go straight to there. And there's just this whole, like, how were they going to get out? Were they going to have to retrace their steps? I'm so glad they didn't have to retrace their steps. I'm glad they got to just jump in a hole and climb up. Yeah.
My God.
I swear though, going to Hollow Earth was like the coolest part of the movie to me. And I wish, like, future tense, that we can get a movie about Hollow Earth, because it was so cool. Whatever, like Kong just floating in the middle, like in the parts really where the gravity was like different. Oh, I thought that was so cool. It looked, and the colors looked really cool in Hollow Earth. And I don't know, seeing Kong run, there's something majestic about it.
Yeah. Run.
Clearly,
jump.
I'm into it.
I love all of it.
Oh God.
Oh, look at Matthew. Fucking great. Looks like he's spazzing out.
Wow, it looked like Kong, dude.
Sure. No.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
100%.
I love it.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's funny, my coworker Jonathan, shout out to you, Jonathan, said we were talking about it earlier, and he was like, the whole storyline with Millie Bobby Brown and all of them literally was pointless up until the point where they pour the alcohol. Literally nothing they did mattered.
Do you think
until they poured the alcohol?
You think they wrote that scene and then just worked back? Like, they were like, all right, somebody's gonna have to pour the alcohol on the screen. We got to create characters to do this. All right, how are they gonna?
Who wants to do it?
I really think they just wanted something quirky and cool, and they didn't know what to do with these kids in this storyline. So they were like, what do? Oh, we make a podcast about And then the funny thing is, while I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, should we have made a podcast about some type of conspiracy theory? Because I feel like
we might have more views.
I feel
more
like
traction.
technically, what we talk about, we do come up with a lot of conspiracy theories per episode.
I mean, Tobey Maguire, it's happening.
That's not a conspiracy theory, though. That's us stating a fucking
And
facts,
this is where it starts.
No, that's just fucking
We
delusion.
fully believe it. I do, and that in the bleach shit, I was like, was the bleach stuff necessary too? No one should bathe in bleach.
Yeah.
No one.
Interesting. Here's the thing. I walked into this movie expecting exactly this, though, for the humans in terms of story and stuff. And even if you guys want to go back and talk about Kong, it's not like they had a crazy good story. They really didn't. Yeah. It wasn't much of a plot. It was just a fun journey. It was them in a fucking forest with a lot of unknowns. It was fun to watch them get taken one by one or whatever, killed. So it was awesome just trying to see them reach, like whatever. But was the plot like amazing? No. I mean, it's not like they had a crazy good story. But here, like, yeah, I expected you're literally walking into a movie where it's one giant creature versus another, right? Like, they're not gonna fucking focus on the human. So if you walk in expecting that, I think it helps you appreciate not appreciate the fights more, but literally just go in for that. And if that's what you went in for, I think you'd like this movie a bit more. But I mean, I wish all the human shit would just No, I mean, trust me, I
rewatch it.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Don't pity me. I swear I swear I want to enjoy this movie. I'm going to watch it again even though I don't want to watch it again, but I'm going to cuz I want to feel what everyone else is feeling. I feel like I've watched a different movie or something cuz everyone I see online like adores this movie. The freaking Rotten Tomatoes scores even like in the 70s and I'm blown away by that.
Where have you been reading like comments and reviews? Because I'm reading stuff on Twitter and I'm seeing a lot of people complain about this movie.
Really? Yeah. Not many places. Just like I've seen like 3 or 4. I've seen like 3 or 4 comments, and that was the end of it. And I was like, I guess people like
everyone that oh my god, no, everyone like all the comments I've seen. It's has nothing to do with Kong. Has nothing to do with Godzilla. Not even the villain of the movie, not even the bleach or the alcohol. It's all about just the humans sucking. Which I guess
that's the thing. I guess we didn't sign up for humans, so
yeah.
I will say we need to talk about this final fight for sure because that is one thing I will say about this movie. The final fight totally worth all of it. Like them doing the whole Middle Earth thing. They get down there. What's her name? The daughter of the villain. Legolas?
You said Middle Earth.
What?
Close enough.
My bad.
I respect it.
I got Lord of the Rings on the mind. Hollow Earth. Middle Earth, Jesus. When they get there and the daughter turns on them in the stupidest way because clearly she's gonna die because of this. She's like telling them to fire on the child that Kong loves, and I'm like, you're an idiot. You're about to die. And she does. So after they do all that, and when Kong and Godzilla are like yelling at each other, he's doing his Godzilla yell, and then Kong's doing his like gorilla roar. I think that part's like really cool. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then he has his like axe. He sits on the throne. Like all that shit is so cool
freaking cool. The axe was fucking awesome.
The music was great in this movie too. I really enjoyed the music.
Yeah, the music was awesome. Who made it? Was it Junkie XL?
Was it?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was actually.
Holy shit!
Cool.
This man's going crazy with HBO.
Pretty fucking cool. And I thought, at the end of the fight, at like the last fight when Godzilla charges up his axe with his like little roar or whatever, that was fucking dope too.
Oh my
I mean, look,
God.
The plot of this movie, take away the humans with Kong and Godzilla, is literally the plot of Batman versus Superman. They fight Martha. They move on. They go fight together. The big fucking doomsday. In this case, being Mechagodzilla. And except we don't get Lex Luthor. So I don't know. I almost like this movie
he gets
more than...
killed off though.
Oh well, he was a cooler Lex Luthor. If that was Lex Luthor, I'd take that.
Yeah,
he was cooler,
he's like,
even though
he's
kinda...
like older and wiser for some reason.
Yeah.
And he's got a little
flair.
Creepy. He's like a little sassy. I like that.
It does.
I liked. I don't think it was great, but I liked him. So.
I want a sassy Lex Luthor. I'm here for it. I love it.
But yeah, no, I agree. Like all of that, the fight where like gets to the point where Kong's kind of kicking Godzilla's ass, but not like fully. It's just like he's beating him like hard. And then it hits that turning point, and obviously Godzilla is about to like kick Kong's ass, and it's to the point where he's like stepping on his chest and like yelling into his freaking mouth almost. And then he's like dying. And then they did the whole thing where they're like, we need something to light up Las Vegas or something like that.
Yeah.
and then he's like, oh, that's something that was already said. And then runs to the ship and he's like, I've got it. And they like supercharge his chest and he's awake. Whatever. The whole shoulder thing, knocking his freaking shoulder back in, might be the coolest part of the movie.
I thought of it when that happened. I was like, Bailey's gonna be digging this wherever she is.
He like went to a building and was just like, boom. And I was like, oh my God. Like this dude. I want to be able to, one day I want my shoulder to pop out of place so I can pop it back into place.
I was going to ask you, since for you guys that have no idea, this is what she does for her actual job. She fixes people. So I was going to ask, if Kong ever walked into your clinic, what would you like? Would you help him out? Would you tell him just run into a fucking building? Like, what would you tell him as a therapist?
I'd sit him down. I'd give him our paperwork as a new client. It's like, you know what?
Right. Legal stuff.
Fill out your past injuries. See what we can work with. We'll get you on some bands. Get you some good shoulder rotation. Because we really want it to be a healthy fix. And then we walk outside and go, pick a building,
Bam.
Kong. And you just, boom, right?
You're free again.
Fucking knocks your building down. He's like, fuck this shit.
I'm like, worth it. And then I climb on his back and then we run away and beat Godzilla together. And I'm just like, woo.
That would have been a better human storyline than what we got.
I might have just made a better movie.
You might have.
Yeah.
But again, all the action stays the same. So you can just interchange what we had with that.
Exactly. Better. I will say, though, the stuff with Godzilla was dope because him still being king at the end of the day, like him still being like, I win and like, we're going to fight together, but I still won. I do think that's cool. Like, I am glad it wasn't a tie.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been weird.
That was one of my favorite parts about this is they didn't try to say like, oh, this is some tie bullshit or they're going to stop. And I mean, they did team up at the end, obviously, but it's just like the fact that there was a clear winner. Like Godzilla fucked Kong up.
He was dying. Yeah. So it was clear. And Mechagodzilla was so cool. I wish it was like, I know this is stupid because it's supposed to be the big battle royale final fight kind of thing, but I almost just wish like half the movie was filled with this fight. Would have been like really happy with that.
It would have been cool.
We got to the middle point and it was like, oh, now we have a 45-minute fight of Mechagodzilla versus Kong and Godzilla.
It's hard to know, though.
Honestly, had that fight, you could have had that fight be like last 45 minutes and had all the human bullshit saved for those 45 minutes and just showed it on the side and then had them do something fucking meaningful instead of like just throwing alcohol over whatever.
Would have even been fucking... You know what could have even maybe been a better movie too? Bless you? Oh, you're yawning.
No, I was yawning.
I'll
sneeze soon.
A ring. Set up like a massive ring. All of Hong Kong. It's just a giant ring. You knock all the buildings down. You get it going. Have the plot to Rocky. Okay, hear me out.
Never watched it.
It's gonna be though. Kong is Rocky getting trained by Mechagodzilla. They team up, go against the actual Godzilla.
Wow.
I actually really like that.
See what I mean?
I
was expecting it.
That's not bad. Yeah, I thought you meant an actual ring, like a finger ring for some reason. But
no,
you meant a boxing ring. Yeah. I dig that. I like it. I'm here for it.
I thought you were about to do Lord of the Rings again.
Yeah, I honestly I did. I thought you were gonna say like fucking Kong goes on this journey with Godzilla and they leave the Shire or whatever.
No, I really do think the end of the fight, this last fight might be the best part of any of the movies in this like group of movies.
Okay.
I mean,
I honestly do feel that way about that last fight. I think it was amazing.
I think so too. Because here's the thing, Skull Island, better movie, but because these movies to me just exist for these giant monsters to just go at each other and fight, I think this one's the best. I'm gonna say it. I think this is the best out of all of them.
You think this is the best one?
Out of these four, yeah.
Wow. How do we delete someone.
Should we kick him out of the
I'm
podcast
trying,
in
I'm
general?
trying to
Hey, anybody
it.
out there, if you want to join a podcast, we have a special opening now.
Woo!
Comment, come and join us. We do it through Discord, so it won't be hard to join.
It's a more fun movie, sure, and the fights are amazing. I mean, I love all three fights just as much as each other. Obviously, the last one is cooler because like it's more epic. But I thought all three fights were fucking fantastic. For me, Kong, like Skull Island's always gonna be number one. I mean that.
It's just too
to
funny.
me-
It's
yeah,
definitely
sure.
funnier.
I guess funny is
It does. It
well,
hits the
wasn't the way I
humor
was
in
doing-
like a
It
good
does.
way.
I agree. But for me, it's like it's up there, man. It's like a 8.5 out of 10. Where
Y'all
I can't really say the same about this movie.
Y'all didn't like when I can't remember her name. That girl, she called King Kong a Wookiee. That wasn't funny.
Wait, when did she do that? I didn't
Oh,
even hear that
the
part.
dude's daughter.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad
He
you
called
fucking
Kong a
crushed her
Wookiee?
helicopter. She was trying to be cute.
Yeah,
and funny,
she was. She was like, when are we
it
gonna wake
just
the
didn't
Wookiee
work.
up or something like that? And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And that's why when they killed her, like it felt like nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
shit.
think a
Boom.
single person was upset about that death. Would be in real life. Not saying that wouldn't happen.
Oh yeah.
But in this movie, it was okay. It was not, it was necessary. She already did her part. What else
She
was she
did.
gonna do? You know?
Exactly.
And
She's
then
actually
her
really
dad
good.
dies.
Yeah, she's a really good actress. You guys should watch the movie I told you guys about on Netflix. I Care a Lot. It's with what's her
Oh
name?
yeah, no,
Rosamund
and yeah,
Pike
she
or
was in
whatever?
I do need to watch that.
she was in another movie recently.
Yeah,
I
pretty
liked
good,
her
pretty
in
good.
whatever movie that was too. I want to say it was Hobbs and Shaw.
It was, yes. She was
Yeah.
definitely in there.
She was
Yeah.
good in that too. Yeah, I don't think she's a bad actress. I think the writing's
She just sucked in it.
horrendous.
Yeah. I
That's how
agree.
I feel. So
Mhm.
now that we got Matt's opinion, you think this would be second after Kong?
Oh, absolutely. I thought the two Godzilla movies were complete and utter shit.
Interesting.
Yes. I thought the
Okay.
first one was watchable. The second one, nah, man. One of my least favorite
God,
movies.
I
just
feel like
can't
I
fucking
really
sit through it.
enjoyed all the monsters. I really liked Mothra, so I feel like
Oh yeah, Mother was really. That was the best
The
part.
creatures were cool. I mean, the creatures were definitely cool, but it just like the human side of it sucks, and it's a drag. Whereas like the first one wasn't that bad to go through, and I guess maybe because it had for me more likable actors, right? Like I like
Yeah.
seeing Quicksilver and Wanda fucking each other. I guess they're married in this movie, which is super weird because we had just seen them like Age of Ultron, and then you see this movie, and it's like I don't know how I feel about this. But I mean, no, still like for me, more likable actors. So I think maybe I vibed with it a bit more. Even though the second one's like, yeah, probably more fun to watch with all like the fucking creatures, and I mean, it looked I think fantastic. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
for me, it's Kong number one, this movie number two, and then whatever the
Whatever
other ones are
next.
tied for fucking
Doesn't matter.
the last.
Okay,
They can duke
I
it out.
guess I can't even remember the other two movies if I'm being completely honest,
There you
because
go.
it's been a while since I've watched them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say this would probably be my number two as well. Solely for the shoulder hit.
Yes.
Could
That's all it
watch
takes.
that for
That's all you
I
need.
could watch that one scene for like an hour and a half, and I'd be like, this is a damn good movie.
Boom,
So,
boom, boom.
yeah, just like over and over again. Oh man. Well, I think we hit all of what probably needed to be hit. If not, you people out there who listen to this and join in on this, you can tell me how bad my opinion is if you want. I don't even care. Go ahead and do it. I'll talk with you about it. Tell us what you liked or did not like from this movie. Tell us if you thought that it's good to pour bleach on yourself or not. I don't recommend it. That's all I'm saying.
Don't. Let's
And let
let's
us
just say
know
no
who you'd
on that one.
rather. Also, let us know who you'd rather, Kong or Godzilla, because I'm very curious out there about who has more of the fan base. I'm
Oh,
very
Godzilla,
curious.
I
absolutely.
think it's definitely
Well, like, you don't
Godzilla,
know
but I'm
that.
willing. Yeah,
No,
I'm
no,
willing to
it's
see.
It's Godzilla. Kong was the underdog here. I'm
Kong
glad they gave him a
being the
chance.
underdog might be coming up. That's all I'm
This
saying.
is true. This is true.
So yeah, we're wrapping this little puppy up, this little monkey up.
Wow.
Might as
Maybe
well.
I don't know.
We're at that point.
Anyway, don't forget we got the new episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. We're gonna be talking about that. It's gonna be out Thursday, 10 a.m. sharp. So be there or be square. Either way, it's fine. Come and talk to us about that because we'll do that every Thursday for you guys. And it's been great. We've had a lot of fun. And it's like, don't drink bleach.
If you need to take one thing away from this episode, just don't drink bleach or pour it all over you.
It's probably just not a really good idea.
No.
All right. See you guys later.